and there comes the sun. We have to do that? Cliche? Hey, it is Friday, March 7th, and I am in Orlando, Florida. I think I told some of you guys know I've been traveling. This is going to turn into more of a kind of a blog, a diary of what's been going on this week personally, rather than what's been going on at TG. You know everything that's going on at TG, so I don't have to talk about that. There's like a lesson from me and a lesson from Doug, and oh, hopefully a lesson from Vanessa. Due to being on the road here, some things are getting a little clogged up. Oh, also, I'm going to try to keep this short. This might cut off any time. I've had spotty internet access, spotty, anyway, the camera's not charged really very well. Lots of obstacles that have actually turned into kind of a cool thing. You know, there's all of a sudden when not being able to get work done is out of your control, you don't feel so bad about it. But, and I want to talk about All My Lovin'. Gotta learn those chords, those C chords. Yes, because John actually did some very complicated strumming in that. I want to talk about minor scales a little bit too, to kind of catch up, follow up with what Willem was doing. And I don't even remember everything that went up this week. I think, oh yeah, we got into I Want to Hold Your Hand, which brings me to, well, let's see, what else? We had Doug's lesson on the Dadgad version of From Me to You. And we had a little, more John Mellencamp. So, which brings me to a story I hope to tell you about what happened last night with the softball team, because I was on the spot to play a bunch of songs and I crashed on most of them until they asked about where's my capo? Back at home probably. Anyway, so I hope to get to that story because I'm kind of trying to run down what I did, what all of it happened this week, as I'm trying to get a little bit of work done on the road. It's my softball band to get me into the games at in Claremont. Anyway, which I have to get to very soon, hopefully. What else was I going to talk about? Minor scale, I mentioned that. Okay, so here is, let's do all that first. Wait, I just went through the songs. Did I forget something? Oh, John Renbourn. We had a John Renbourn, a little more piece of that, which leads me to part of something that happened on Wednesday night here. Had a kind of cool conversation with Ron Binding, and speaking of old, well, who was a TGer that goes way back, and he showed up at Lizzie's game in Lakeland, is the name of the town, at a school called Florida Southern College. Anyway, it was great to catch up with him and talk a little bit about camp, and it reminded me that he was a long time, he's somebody that sat through our 5.5-hour broadcast back in April of 2009? I think so. I think it was April 2009, maybe about April, towards the end of the month. 26th, 27th, something like that. Anyway, and signed up right on the spot, and that was pretty cool. And then mentioned to his wife that, like last year around this time, that he was thinking about doing something, going to a camp off in the sticks with this guy he only knew as an internet guitar teacher and wasn't even sure it was all real. But, so I don't have much camp news other than, well, I do have, for those that were there and got to know our dear friend Karina, she just sent me an email, got it this morning, that said she's working on a trip to California and will probably be here if we still want her. Karina, love you. Gotta see you. So that's, I didn't get back to your email yet, but I may have by the time you see this. Anyway, let's see. What all happened this week? Should I talk about, okay, All My Lovin', let's talk about that first. And that is, you've probably figured out that I'm going to get to a lesson on this because we are sort of sequentially going through the Beatles hits. So it wouldn't be that the early hits. We're only going to go up to ones I already have. You can probably figure out what that is too. So there's a few more. Noisy place. Although earlier when I was thinking about trying to do this, the noise was more like blowers and stuff like that. So hopefully you can hear me okay and see me okay. Anyway, yes, John strumming in All My Lovin' is unbelievably difficult. And he is, he's really good at it. And there aren't many things I would say that about him with, because he's not, generally doesn't pay a lot of attention to detail, still comes out very musical and very rhythmic, but a little on the sloppy side at times. And yes, we will get to that that tune probably within a month or so. The minor scale thing. Here is what I think I put down in the post that you could work on. If you can sing a major scale, let's do a C, I guess. Yeah. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's do something lower. Let's try B flat. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's better. Okay, so if I'm going to sing a major scale and learn to do it by syllables, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and learn to do it backwards, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. To find the relative minor scale, sing down 2 more notes. Do, ti, la. La is the minor scale. That should give me a G. La. And then start singing from there to learn to sing a minor scale. La, ti, now, do. Now I'm thinking major scale here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Stop there. La, so, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. So if you hesitate on do, that kind of gives you still a little grasp of the major scale. And then if you continue down to la and start using that as more, then pretty soon throw out the hesitating on do. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. La, so, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. Okay, hopefully that'll help with some of the other stuff that we have coming up. And I had one more thing. Okay, that's it. Here's what I've been doing this week. Sunday I flew out here to Orlando and dropped into my cousin Kim's house, which is where we are now. I have 3 cousins in Florida. Last year I got to see them all, and they're all unrelated. I've got Kim is actually cousin-in-law on the Hawaiian side. I've got a second cousin on the Irish side in Miami, Vince, and a first cousin on the Polish side. Miami, I'm guessing, is that way. And in Seminole, which is near Tampa, I've got a cousin Diane on the Polish side. So anyway, last year I did manage to get to see all those people, even though they're all like miles away. Some of it was the softball took me out in one of those directions. Anyhow, that is what's been going on here, and then have been hanging out on the fields watching Lizzie play. And as I mentioned, it was kind of a treat that I knew we had a camper who had lived in Tampa. So I sent him a message saying, hey, if you're not doing anything Wednesday night or Thursday night, and you want to catch a little softball and catch up on things, please join me. And so he did. It was very cool to see Ron. Which reminds me, I want to say, I guess a goodbye to somebody else that we haven't heard from in a long time, but I got a message from somebody else that was there very close, if not at the beginning, very closely, and that was Reverend Kate, Guitar Mom, who just sent me a message saying she's going on to another part of her life and having to say goodbye to Totally Guitars. But we're going to miss you, and thanks for all the contributions, like way back in the early days particularly, but glad to hear all is, glad to hear all is well. I hope all was well. I didn't get too many of the details yet. Let's see, is there something else? Oh, yes, now. So Monday, caught some games, came back here. Tuesday, caught some games, came back here. Got to visit a little bit of downtown Orlando. Haven't really been able to do much sightseeing or much guitar playing. I was really, maybe next time I probably won't even bring the guitar. Maybe I should remedy that now. Okay, sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I have so many songs I've forgotten, which leads me to the funny story I was going to tell you about last night. And that was the, we're supposed to have games in Tampa, which is about 2 hours away, and I had spent the night out near there hoping to see some, oh, I did see, here's the other big news, I hope I can dig up a picture of this. The elusive Matt Williams, it was coincidentally in Tampa, and he and I had lunch together at a place called the Varsity on Wednesday. And it was great because, you know, the last time I saw him, even though we work supposedly very closely together, was at camp, like back in September. So it's been about 6 months, and we finally got got an hour together to enjoy when they had chicken quesadilla or something at Varsity Club. And so that was cool, and I hope to, as many of you know, I'm struggling with a new phone. And if I can figure out how to get photos off my phone and add to TG, I'll do that. Anyway, I'm sure I can, but not sure how high a priority it is right now. Let's see, where was I going? So lunch with Matt. It was great to see you, buddy. And you know what? And really, Matt does not get enough thanks for everything that he does at Totally Guitars. We get a lot of complaints about things that don't work right, and they all, of course, get sent to him, and he's the big old bad guy that is causing it all. If you guys knew how much he is working on getting this thing up and running right and the way we need it to, you would not believe it. I know I don't sleep much, he sleeps even less. So, but he's working on this all the time, and we have some big changes looming on the horizon that are going to make everything better. So, okay. Anyway, it was great to see Matt. Then where was I going? The rain out. So it started dumping here yesterday, like buckets. And I was driving on the freeway coming back. I decided the Tampa games got canceled. So, and the girls were set free, which meant they could spend time with their parents. So Lizzie called me and said, you know what, I really miss a restaurant that we have in California. So I'm sure there are a lot of places in the country but they don't have yet in New York, where she's going to school, BJ's. So she said, Dad, can we go to BJ's? So we did. She was craving the chicken fettuccine something. Really, I don't know. Anyway, so we had that, and then there was a team dinner going on. So we left the restaurant and headed for the team dinner. Yeah, squeeze in windows when you can. Anyhow, we got to there, and there was hardly anybody there. So Lizzie and I so I decided to break out the guitar, just because I hadn't really played. I've been here for a week, and I've had virtually no time to play it. Or not made time, I guess, but still. And the coach was there, and only one or two other girls. And as I started playing a few things, I don't even know what I was playing, but somebody, started asking, hey, do you know this? Do you know that? Do you know that? Or whatever. And the coach, being from New Jersey, had some very specific requests that were lower on my radar than they should have been. He says, hey, so do you know any Bruce Springsteen? I said, oh. We haven't done any Springsteen lessons yet. Maybe I should remedy that. Do you know any, and then the big one, Bon Jovi. I said, oh yeah, I know I have a Bon Jovi. Oh, I can't even remember it. So I know you guys think I remember everything. I hope you do. I really struck out last night on a lot of fronts, because then the rest of the audience was, 20-something girls, the softball team, young 20-somethings, and the teenagers, probably even some of them. And so they wanted to hear new stuff. Now I was really getting stuck. So luckily one of them knew Hallelujah. So then she says, hey, can you play that? If you do, I can sing it. Turns out she didn't remember the words. So I think we're getting together again tonight, and I told her to go practice the words. But then they wanted to hear new stuff. And I says, oh yeah, we've got some new lessons. I got something up there by One Republic. And then I thought, which I can't remember how it goes. I got something up there by Philip Phillips, which I can't remember how it goes. Anyway, so it was until they finally hit on the Eagles, we finally hit middle ground. So that was the thing. I'm out here with people from the right coast of the country, which is really different than life in California. I just don't have enough East Coast music. Oh, we did reach a good common ground with... Oh wait, I haven't even done that lesson yet. Wait. Oh, and then they asked about pink houses, and I couldn't remember it. I did remember this one though. Okay, the camera's been working. I think I've gotten to everything I wanted to ramble on about today, except that, oh, I'm supposed to keep this like 5 minutes because I don't think I can process this. You may not see this till Sunday because of, again, internet problems and the logistic problems and, anyway, all the other stuff. So on that, I will leave you with, oh, you know, some of my students were asking about 12-bar blues lately. Okay, I guess let's get back to work next week, and everything should be back to normal, I think, or as normal as it can be. And new songs coming up. Happy hunting, and oh, which is where my cousin-in-law's husband, who's on, heading off to Georgia to do some hunting. Life's different here in Florida. That's it. Back next week.